Well, how are you doing, everyone? Welcome to Chair Yoga with me, Dave Rennie. It's pretty warm here in the East Midlands today, so I'm sat here in the dark. It's a good way to keep your property cool, isn't it? I was just saying that I live kind of in a old converted Victorian factory, and it's kind of like in the roof space up here, so it gets quite hot. So I've got everything closed. So hopefully you can see me all right. Everything looks all right. I've got the lights on. I'm on a nice sturdy chair. If you know this class, then you know the drill, right? And the most important thing is that you got here and you arrived, and you're going to hopefully, practice yoga with me for the next half hour. But the second thing is to, have a nice chair. So something that's sturdy, something with a back on it is useful. It doesn't have to have a back on. Most chairs do, right? But I always find that then I can sort of decide where I want to be. I can sort of sit back and make it a bit more relaxed, or I can shuffle my bottom forward and make it a little bit more kind of intentional through the spine. If you sit, in something like a wheelchair or an armchair, that is your favorite chair, brilliant, right? It doesn't have to be something that you use specifically for chair yoga. It's just something that's comfortable, that's stable, and that you're going to have enough, room to kind of expand out when we do a little bit of twisting. Maybe we'll bring our arms above our head. But because it is quite warm today, I'm not sure where we're going to go with it. I don't want to kind of overheat everybody, and then everyone thinks, oh, I can't do it, I don't have the energy. And it is 2:30 in the afternoon, right? And I think our energy can quite naturally kind of drop in the afternoons. And especially around this time, we've probably all had lunch, and then, we've been battling the heat a little bit. Even though it's nice, I'm not moaning about the weather, by the way. It's really beautiful. But you have to kind of adjust to things like that. So what we'll do is we'll move a little bit, and I don't want us to get too relaxed and chilled out, even though there's nothing wrong with that either. But let's kind of move a bit, move through the muscles of the arms, have a little stretch around, and we'll see where it takes us. And we'll probably have a little bit more look at our breath. Our pranayama, as they call it in yoga. Make sure you're hydrated. That's one of the most important things. I always drink tea. I love a bit of tea, I do. But I've got a nice cup of chai today. So water, tea, whatever feels good. Make sure you've got a drink to hand, because you'll probably want to have a little sip now and again. Okay, now I'm trying to decide whether I want to practice with my glasses on or my glasses off. I'm going to take my glasses off. For now, they'll probably come back on at some point. And what I'd like you to do is kind of sit up nice and tall. So maybe you kind of root your feet down into the floor, and you can see I'm kind of moved my spine off the back of my chair. So I'm sat forward. So this is seated Tadasana, and we do this a lot, right? And try and get away from the idea that yoga has to be, really physical, and, the moves have to be really complicated. That's not how we do things here, right? We're kind of just feeling into our body and noticing what we're noticing. If you'd like to practice with a little bit of music, feel free. You might put some nice gentle music on in the background. That's a nice thing to do as well. But spend a little bit of time just settling in. And the idea here is that you just notice what you're noticing, right? You just gently check in with your practice, see what's going on. Maybe it's that you just catch a little bit of attention on your breath. And if you haven't done my classes before, I'll generally instruct you to breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose, if that feels okay. But don't get too kind of fussy about how you breathe. As long as the breath is kind of a little longer, easeful, nourishing, then you're in a really good spot. You can see I've closed my eyes, but you might just keep your eyes open. It's totally up to you how you practice. See what comes up for you here. It might be, the first time today that you're giving yourself this little bit of time to reflect. Stay here for, I don't know, about another minute, something like that. Nothing more complicated than just paying attention, being still, or as still as you can be. Take a few more rounds of breath. If you like to kind of exhale through the mouth, maybe sigh out through the mouth. And then from here, when you're ready, just take an inhale and sweep the arms all the way up towards the sky, if you can. Go bring the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, a little twist towards the right. So what I'll do is I'll bring my left hand onto my right knee, or my right outer thigh, kind of top of the leg, and then my right hand will be behind. So I'm just twisting towards the right hand side. Every inhale I find length, every exhale into a little twist, kind of rooting down through my feet. If you can do that, great. If you can't, that's not a problem at all. Inhale to find length, exhale into your twist. So you're just kind of twisting the spine very gently. Don't kind of move too much here. And then when you're ready, inhale, come back to center and bring your arms all the way up. It's a nice movement through the arms, right? And then as you exhale, a little quarter turn to the left, right hand comes down onto the leg, and left leg, and then the left hand comes maybe on the side of the chair or just behind you. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into a twist. I think twists can be really nourishing things to do, right? They kind of, you feel like you're giving yourself a good wring out, any sort of tension within the spine. Hopefully you get to work on that tension. Nice gentle movements, right? One more round of breath. And then exhale, come back to center. Beautiful. Really nice. All right. Have a little move through your neck. We usually do it, but I think it's a brilliant way just to kind of free up tension around the shoulders and the head and the neck itself, the jaw. Okay, so bring the hands down. My hands are just resting on my knees. Yours might be there, they might not. But as long as your spine is relatively long, you're in a good spot. And then just kind of rock the chin a little side to side. Kind of freeing up the back of the neck. Looking out for any kind of tight spots. Sometimes they can sort of remain a little hidden and they kind of linger. And then if you wanted to, you can maybe draw some circles with your head. You might inhale as the head comes up. You might exhale as the chin just falls down. And when you're ready, just come back the other way. So just swap it out. Just rotating your head in the opposite direction. And looking out for any tight spots, any areas of tension. I'm grinning because I always kind of feel those tight spots when I'm kind of move my head out. So it always feels a really rewarding way to kind of move. And with the breath and maybe with the eyes closed, it can feel, I don't know, really gentle, but also freeing, right? Like it's needed as necessity in my life. And it's subtle because I probably wouldn't think that unless I was sat here with you guys, and it gives me the opportunity to move my head out. Inhale, come back to center. And then take a full exhale. Beautiful. If your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. I'm going to put my specs back on. All right. Okay, so what I'd like us to do is a little bit of more work through our shoulders and a little bit more work through our arms and our hands, okay? Because I think, again, it's a really nice way to move. So we can build this slowly. So let's start with the shoulders. Hands are down on the knees, probably, right? Inhale to bring the shoulders up, and then exhale to bring the shoulders down. Inhale up and exhale down. You just kind of get into a nice rhythm that works for you. And then what you might do is you might lift one shoulder, you might lift the other shoulder. So you can, I guess, just play around with this. You know, I don't feel like it needs to be one thing. Some people like to do this and they roll their shoulders back. Maybe you roll your shoulders forwards. But I think any movement here, right, is very rewarding. As I move, I can feel kind of a little bit of tension in my rotator cuff on this left shoulder. So I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of tension there. I was up in Northumberland at the weekend at Whitley Bay. That's not Northumberland, is it? Well, I was in Northumberland. I was north of there. I was near Bamber Castle, Holy Island kind of way. And then I was at Whitley Bay. I think that's North Tyneside, right? Sorry if I've got my geography wrong, but I think it is. But I did a lot of driving, and maybe that's where that tension's come. So it builds up, right? The tension in the body builds up slowly. All right, beautiful. Exhale, bring the shoulders down. Next time you inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Just expand the arms, right? I've lost my arms a little bit there. Exhale, bring the hands down. And just do that a few more times. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit so we don't. Oh, Sylvia, you're from Leicester. That's great news. It's always nice to have a fellow Leicester person. If you're ever in Leicester City Centre, come and see us at the Space to Breathe Collective. A not-for-profit yoga and wellness centre. All right, that's where I spend most of my time. A few more like that. Inhaling up and exhaling down. 2 more. Inhale up and exhale down. Right, that's a nice way to move the arms, isn't it? 1 more. Take a nice deep inhale as the arms come up. And a full exhale as the arms come down. And then bring the hands back onto your thighs or your knees, maybe with the palms face up. And just check in. How does that feel, right? If you close your eyes, can you feel that kind of, you know, a little bit of resonance through the shoulders and the arms? You know, it feels, oh yeah, that's where I was. Now I can feel that little bit of activation, a little bit of tiredness maybe. Maybe it feels like there's energy within the arms. Do that a few more times. So inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale to bring the arms down. You kind of comb them down. You feel the shoulders engage. Hopefully you feel the shoulders release a little. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more. Inhale up. And exhale down. And we're just getting used to moving with the breath. Should we do 2 more because it is nice? Inhale up. Exhale down. Final time, inhaling up and exhale down. Nice. Have a little move through your shoulders again. Maybe, you know, any way that feels good for you. And then pause. Have a little sip of whatever you're sipping. And I'll get into the arms and the hands and the wrists a little more. So remember last week, we did a session where we were doing the sun salutations, which we'll probably get into. Just checking the time, we're halfway through. You know, we were doing this. So this is a version of plank. Usually when we do mat yoga, plank is on all fours, and the legs are back and you're on the toes and the arms are down. But this is a version of plank pose, so you can really kind of engage the arms here. They're not kind of passive, they're sort of engaging. You can, maybe you join me here just for a little bit. So you kind of spread out through the fingers. You can turn the arms inwards and outwards. And notice what that does to the shoulders. You might even look at the shoulders, but you know, this is quite an active pose, isn't it? I can really feel it. I'm making sure I'm sitting nice and tall, and give the hands a little shake out. So we'll probably put all these little bits together. What I'd like us to do is bring the hands out, keep them in line with the shoulders, so not down here, not up here. So if you can do this, and if you can get the arms straight, great. Let's bend, that's okay. You know, bend the elbows a little. Make fists, and then draw circles with your fists. So kind of just track the circles, maybe in one direction. I'm going outwards on both hands, and then maybe come inwards on both hands. Keep breathing deeply. And I can really feel that, in my forearms. I can feel it, in my wrists. It's quite active. Maybe come back the other way. Keep breathing, because you need the breath. Otherwise, everything gets very fatigued, and then come back inwards. All right, you're thinking, wow, how come that's so hard? Give the hands a little shake out. Lovely, really nice. Bring the palms of the face up, pause, and maybe close the eyes again. And then again, just check in with that subtle body, your subtle body. So how do I feel? Well, I'm definitely feeling, and it does feel different to how I started, 15, 16 minutes ago. I feel like there's this little energy, there's a little fatigue, but I certainly feel, even though my muscles feel a little fatigued and my arms and my hands, I feel more energized, right? I feel more alive, and that's all that yoga is really. It's about just shifting our perception, and that we can do that with the head, we can do that with the body, and that's the beautiful thing about it. So I bring the arms back out, and then what I'd like to do is little bursts of the fingers. So maybe you match it with breath, but you don't have to, as long as you breathe in. So you stretch the fingers out, and you bring the fingers in. The little snaps of the fingers, little bursts. Keep doing that, keep breathing. And when you get to the point where everything begins to fatigue, so you'll probably feel it in the fingers themselves, and you'll probably feel it through the forearms, just keep going a little bit longer. Not where there's any pain, never any pain, but tiredness, there's nothing wrong with that. Now I can really feel the burn. A little bit longer. So nice and relaxed through the shoulders, nice and relaxed through your face. Nice. And then give the hands a gentle swing and a gentle shake out. Bring the hands back up onto the knees. And then again, just check in and see how that feels. So with my eyes closed, I draw my attention inwards, and I can feel a little buzz, a little hum of energy. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. That feels really nice. And this is really good for our hands, right? We lose the ability, don't we, to grip, and to we lose the dexterity in our fingers if we're not kind of working with them. So maybe draw bigger circles with the hands, just draw them out, come back the other way. We've got to be really respectful and mindful of our wrists. We don't want to kind of push them too far. Give them a little shake, and then bring your right hand out, and then press your palm forward. And then with the left hand, just kind of pull the fingers back, but very gently. So you feel the stretch down, maybe the inside of the wrist, the fingers themselves, the palm of the hand. And then you might have a little stretch back of the right thumb. And then just swap that out. So left arm forward, left fingers back with the help of the right hand. Feel that little stretch. And then maybe have a little stretch out through the left thumb. Nice. And then give them a little shake out. Nice. Really nice. Reposition yourself on your seat if you need to. All right. Have a little wriggle around. Let's do a dynamic twist this time. So when you're ready, inhale to sweep the arms up. As you exhale, twist to the right. So we've done this already, and we've also done the sensation of bringing the hands up. So let's do it again. Inhale to bring the hands up. Exhale, twist to the left. So we're just going to move with the breath now. So little movements, right? But it will, certainly challenge us. Inhale to center, sweep the arms up. Exhale to the right, twist to the right. Inhale to center, twist to the left. So the feet are nice and grounded if you can. So the feet, the feet and the legs don't move. It's just the arms that move. Inhale up, exhale right. Inhale up. Exhale left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhaling up. Exhale to the left. A couple more times. Inhale to center. Exhale to your twist. Doesn't matter what side, you might have changed sides. Inhale to center. Exhale. I'm going to do one more on either side. I'm inhaling up. Exhale to my twist. Inhale up. Exhale, final time. Inhale up. And then see if you can exhale, bring the hands all the way down. Just cone them down like we've been doing. nice and slowly. And then the hands just arrive in that beautiful, familiar place, right on your knees, and you're just breathing. Checking in with the sensations, checking in with your experience. No, nothing more than that, right? There's no right and wrong way to do this, by the way. We all look different. As long as you're not hurting yourself, you're in a very, very good spot. All right, shall we bring together some of the stuff we've been doing? Okay, so we're going to kind of use the arms, we're going to do that little plank movement, and we'll do some sun salutations. So everything here can be done from a chair. Remember, sun salutations certainly don't need to be done standing up. So root your feet down into the floor. Ankles and the knees are lined up. Spine is nice and long. When you're ready, take an inhale, just to sweep your arms all the way up. As you exhale, hinge and fold and come all the way down. Now, you might come down here. You might think, that's enough. I'm going to bring my hands onto my knees. I already feel like there's a little fold in my spine. I can feel it here in my lumbar spine. That's enough, right, for a lot of people. If everything feels okay, you might let the spine drop completely. And then you just hang in this forward fold. Fingertips on the floor or on the shins or on the feet. When you're ready, take an inhale just to lengthen your spine. So I just draw my hands up. I roll my shoulders back. My hands are on my shins. So my spine's a little longer. I'm a little higher. And then on my exhale, I just fold back in. This time, on an inhale, I'm going to come back to that flat back position and then push my palms forward. This is my plank, right? And then exhale, I forward fold and let it all go. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. So the hands come above the head. And then you exhale, you frame your hands to your heart. So we've been working on these, for maybe a couple of months now. And we just keep adding little bits in. So this is what we did last week. So let's go again. So it's one movement, one breath. And don't worry if you're like, I have no idea what's going on. It's okay. You'll get used to it. Okay. So bring the hands down, take an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. As you exhale, hinge and fold, and then come all the way down. Just be careful of the spine, no straining, remember. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come back to that flat back, but this time push the palms forward. Here's your plank position. Exhale to fold. Root down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Let's do one more exactly the same as that. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale back to the flat back, but this time remove the hands, push them forward in your plank. Arms are really activated here. Exhale to fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Nice. Let's keep going. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Nice. This time, when you inhale, come all the way back up. Keep the arms lifted. As you exhale, twist over towards the right. Right hand on the chair or somewhere close. Left hand on the outer right knee. Take a round of breath. Inhale. And then a full exhale. Nice. Inhale to bring the arms all the way back up. Maybe look up to the hands now. Exhale, hinge and fold. Come all the way back in. Nice. Root down through the feet. Same thing again. Inhale, sweep the arms high and wide. Come all the way up. And then exhale, twist to your left. Right hand, outer edge of the left leg or the left knee. Left hand behind. Take a deep inhale. Take a full exhale. Nice. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And then this time, exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down through the feet, come all the way back up. Exhale, little twist towards the right. Inhale to find length. Exhale. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale to forward fold. Final time we're going to do that. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, twist to the left. Take a deep inhale. Take a full exhale. Final time, inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. And I'm just conscious, I said we wouldn't move or not. And we've done a fair amount of moving, so let's just let everything settle. At this point, if you wanted to, you can bring your hands down and you can sit back on your chair if you're not already. I'm sat forward in my chair. I usually show you, this is my position. I'm usually kind of sat here because you see, like, I can lengthen my spine, my shoulders are relaxed, and everything feels pretty good. I've got a lot of room to move from here. But now, what I'll probably do is I'll just kind of lean back into my chair. I'll bring my legs out a little. I've been reminded already not to fall asleep today. And this is our seated Tadasana, our seated Shavasana. We started in Tadasana, mountain pose. We finish in Shavasana. So we can just let the pose be very relaxing. We won't be here for long. Maybe bring the palms up. I'm going to bring mine onto my lap today. We'll spend, I don't know, just a minute or so. If it feels okay, close your eyes. At this point, we just let everything be as still as we can, and this is a really important part of the class where we just let everything settle. Just noticing the effects of your practice today. On here, when you're ready, and do this really gently, you might bring a little bit of movement back into your body. You can start maybe with your fingers and your toes. You might sit a little taller. Sometimes from this seated Shavasana, I'll just kind of bring my spine long again, and I'll have a little final stretch. We've done plenty of twisting today, but maybe a little side to side movement. That can feel really nice. Kind of reawaken yourself. I realised I said we'd do quite a lot of pranayama or breath work today, so we never got around to it. Half an hour, it's a good amount of time, I think, to do chair yoga. I think it's the right amount of time, but it's hard to fit all the stuff in that we want to do. So maybe next week we'll do some more breath work. And I think breath work is really important because we can use it in so many different ways, right? We can use it to energize us. We can use it to calm us down. We can use it to calm our nervous system, right? There's so much there in breath work. And I think it's a really beautiful practice to get into. I'm going to come a little bit forward and I'm going to come and sit down much closer to you. So hopefully not too close. It's really nice to have you. Let me just have a look at some of these messages. It's really nice to see you all today. Thank you for saying hi. Always say hi, right? Well, you don't always have to say hi, but it's always nice to check in with you guys. It's lovely to practice with people like from the length and the breadth of the country. It's always nice to kind of connect with people, and it's nice to see new people join in and regular people as well. Remember the Virtual Village Hall, so much great content on the Virtual Village Hall. So check it out. I like YouTube, and what I like about the YouTube channel is I can easily subscribe to it. It's all there for us. I can see what's coming up. I can see all of the videos that have been posted on there. So there's this really amazing catalog, but you can get that as well on all the other platforms as well. Facebook's another really great way to connect in. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It's really nice to see you. I'm back here on Thursday, 2:30. It's my regular class, even though we do chair yoga pretty much every single week. It's sometimes on a Monday, it's sometimes on a Tuesday, but I always have a regular seated yoga class on a Thursday at 2:30 p.m. So maybe give that a go as well. But otherwise, check out all the other content. There's some amazing instructors here, and the Virtual Village Hall look after everyone so well. So yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Priscilla. That's really lovely. And I look forward to welcoming you back next week as well. All right, guys, you have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine. Stay hydrated. Stay cool. Always stay cool, right? And I'll see you next week or Thursday. See ya. Bye.